Hey guys, it's Paul Trimmer here from Puerto Vallarta. Today we're going to go and chat with one of my go-to lawyers or attorneys here in town about the Fideicomiso or the bank trust. There's a lot of misconceptions about that. Foreigners have been buying and selling real estate here for many years in the Fideicomiso or bank trust. So we're going to hear right from an attorney's mouth what it means, what does it mean for you, and how it looks. So let's go meet him. Alrighty, I'm here with Orlando from Lex 360, my go-to lawyer, or attorney in town for transactions. One of the reasons I adore him is he, in a closing, when we're in a closing, everyone's there, he explains everything in English, so he's fantastic for international buyers. So today I've asked him to talk about the Fideicomiso or the bank trust, as there's a lot of misconceptions out there about that. So please.
Well, the first or the main misconception or the fear people has is like, am I the owner of my own property? I heard that a lot, and I hear a lot of people like say like, no, somebody told me I do not own the property. Somebody told me it's the bank's property, and somebody told me they can take it away at any moment, and that's basically a lie. Because the reason we use the bank trust is because by a constitutional prohibition, foreigners cannot acquire direct domain over what we call the restricted zone, which the restricted zone is 50 kilometers from the seashore inland, or 100 kilometers from the borders of Mexico, south and north, and 100 kilometers inland. So if you as a foreigner want to buy a property there, you need to create a trust. You need to buy into a trust. And the reason we use a trust contract is because it's a contract that we as Mexicans been using for many years, you know? And that is the contract that allows you as a foreigner to own your property. So how does it work? The trust per se is a Mexican contract. So me as a Mexican, let's put an example like you and me. Me, I want to buy this property. So I create a trust contract with the bank, correct? So I go to the bank, I tell them, I go to the notary and create a contract where I'm gonna be putting this property. The settler of the seller, the one who I'm gonna buy this property from, puts the property in a trust with the bank, with me as the beneficiary, me the buyer. What will happen with you? In your case, we'll do the same. The seller has to put the property into the bank trust, into the bank with you as the beneficiary. The only difference between you and me is that you have to get a permit from Foreign Affairs because it's an investment, it's a foreign investment, and therefore you need to get a permit that allows the bank to put the property, to get the property in your name and to keep it there for 50 years. Why for 50 years? So the trust contract per se does not have an expiration. The trust, like me as a Mexican, I won't have I won't say like, oh, in 50 years I need to redo the contract. With you, the 50 years is the duration of the permit from Foreign Affairs. So in 50 years you have to renew that permit, or you switch to another bank if you're not happy with the administration of the bank you chosen in the first place, or something like that. Some people already buy a property that is already in a trust, so the seller just assign the trust rights on that property to the buyer, which is easier, faster, and costs less money to the buyer.
Okay, cool. And so you as a closing attorney, you take care of the foreign affairs approval, setting up the bank trust, so that's all included in the closing.
That is correct. Your client and your buyer shouldn't. I mean, some people, they are very proactive and they go and investigate and things. Sometimes they do it too far. They like, oh, I heard this, I heard that, and I'm like, guys, yeah, there's a lot of misinformation on the internet. This is what is the reality. So we take care of that and we explain to your client, whether sometimes at the closing table or sometimes if they are not attending closing, we can do like a Zoom conference or something like that where I explain the contents of the deed. You know, when it's a new trust, they even don't need to be physically in Mexico. They can sign, they can do virtual closing. That is only for new trust. If it's an assignment of rights, it cannot be done.
Yeah. Okay. So to confirm, You do own the property, it's your property, you can renovate it,
Yes.
you can sell it,
Yes.
you can pass it on to a beneficiary if
That is
you
correct.
pass away. And then there's a yearly cost for that bank trust.
That is correct. It's $450 plus tax, so that's $522, and that is your closing costs include 1 year of that, and then the rest you need to pay every year. After closing, you're gonna get a letter from the bank welcoming you and telling you when your next payment will be due, and that's it. Yeah, but no, the bank is just administering your property. They do not own it. It's not part of their assets. The law forbids them even themselves, and we have very specific articles within the law what it tells them what they are forbidden by law to not. They do not own the property. They cannot make any decision on that property.
The bank.
The bank.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, your buyer does. The person who is buying the property is the real owner of the property.
Yeah. Perfect. Now, your company, what else do you provide?
We also do, because comes hand by hand, and usually the people who buy property wants to become residents, temporary permanent residents. So we also provide permanent residence, and we help them through the whole process of how to become permanent residents or temporary residents. Because when they sell, if they are residents, along with other things that they need to meet, other requirements they need to meet, criteria, we explain the whole process, and usually most of them they want to become residents because we ease their capital gain taxes.
Right. Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. So I hope that helps you guys out there. If you have any specific questions, get in contact with me. I can have Orlando answer those questions. But I hope it puts your mind at rest. You do own your property here in Mexico. So any questions, let me know. Thank you for your time.
Welcome.
Bye.